Okay.
But yeah, so we've just been talking on Instagram, and we kind of I felt like had a lot in common with our whole fitness and health philosophy. And she's super active and works out every single day, even though she has a big girl job. And so I was impressed by that. And yeah, so I sent her the video because we were just kind of talking, and I mentioned that I was fitness coaching. I sent you the video I don't know, a week ago or something. And I know that kind of just skims the surface. It didn't really explain everything to me when I was first watching it. So I thought it'd be good to just get everybody in one place because Carolyn's super knowledgeable and really successful as a coach. And I ask her 35 questions a day. So she's my go-to person to ask anything to. So I thought she would be good to just kind of I don't know, talk about what it's been like for you and just tell Joanna, anything you can about coaching or answer any questions because you know it all pretty much. So
I don't know it all, but I know.
You know a lot.
All right. So, did you have any immediate questions right now? So I know what you want me to cover, and then I can kind of go into my story a little bit.
I guess hang on, I have to I'm having a little difficulty for some reason with the volume.
Oh.
Oh wait, no, there it is. Okay. So I guess the only question that I had really was with, I don't know, I guess with what really was the motivation to get started with coaching and what really entails being a coach per se. When you say coach, what exactly does all of that mean exactly?
Okay. So, so you want to know what motivated me to become a coach and what I do as a coach, pretty much? Okay. So I decided to be a coach. I originally signed up as a discount coach because I wanted Shakeology for the discounted price. But before that, I was in college. When I was in high school, I was super active. I played field hockey, lacrosse. I've been doing Taekwondo since I was 9 years old, so I was always doing something active. And I went to college, and that stopped, and I found drinking, and that was my sport. And I gained a lot of weight. I gained about close to 20 pounds in college, and people all around me weren't noticing it. They didn't see it because I knew how to hide it very well, but I felt it, and I just didn't feel good about myself. So I did a few things that weren't so healthy. I took diuretics, I did laxatives, I would just not eat, or I would not eat, or I'd eat really healthy for the week, and then on the weekends I would binge and go out and drink again, and it was just a waste of time. So I was really not taking care of myself at all, and I knew that I had to do something. So my senior year of college, it was coming up to graduation time, and I'm looking at myself, and I just wasn't comfortable with where I was. So I actually connected with one of my friends who's a coach, and she told me about a program, the 21 Day Fix. So I started doing that, and I was seeing results, and a lot of my friends were like, "Oh wow, you look really good. What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just doing this program. My friend gave it to me, she told me about it, and I've been doing it, and it's been working." And they're like, "Oh, that's really cool. Do you be able to help me?" And that's when it kind of clicked. I'm helping myself get healthy, but if I can help other people get healthy, that's 10 times more awesome, because I've been able to use my story, the story I just told you, that's just a little snippet of it. But I've been able to use that story to empower other people to change their lives and to do things that they might not have been comfortable trying before, but they see that I've been able to do it, and they know where I came from, and it just gives them the confidence, oh yeah, I could do this. This is totally awesome, and I have the power to do this. And what we do as a coach, we run accountability groups, which is the biggest thing to hold people accountable to their goals. But we talk to people, we kind of see where they are, what their goals are, what their relationship with food is, what they struggle with the most. And that helps us decide what would be best for them. So if they struggle with portion control or what types of foods they should be eating, then we know what to recommend to them, and we could set them up with a program that's appropriate for them. We also run free groups too. We do fitness groups, and we do clean eating groups, because the one thing that Beachbody is really keen on is clean eating and eating the right kind of foods. Like, it's one thing to eat a certain amount of calories, but you could be eating the same amount of calories of one thing and another thing. Like, you can be eating 2,000 calories a day. You could be eating meats and vegetables and fruits, or you could be eating 2,000 calories a day of like Pop-Tarts and cereal.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, exactly. The difference really show up in your body composition.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we really teach people like how to eat, and it's something that they can sustain for life. They're not like on a diet, but they have a diet. If that makes sense. So it's something that is sustainable forever. It's not something that you're gonna hate the week that you're doing it for. It's just something like that. So we really focus on that and accountability and just being a motivator and helping people reach their goals. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
All right.
That was a very good overview.
It was very, very detailed answer. I guess the other question that I had was, because personally I'm experimenting with different training programs right now. Like right now I'm actually on a training program just for a month, because the way that you started off with describing how you started off is very similar to my personal story, like exactly how you described with except for me it was a little bit earlier. It was in high school. And I discovered I discovered drinking at 15 years old. And I also discovered like laxative and diuretic abuse and all that at 15 years old as well. So you could imagine how damaged to crap my metabolism was by the time I was like maybe 18 years old. So that was when I went to college, and I kind of had a different perspective. And from there was when I started to research about like really health and fitness and everything, but wasn't really serious about it until like 2 years ago. So right now I'm looking around to different ways to go about it, kind of taking coaching advice per se, and looking more for a guide, so that way maybe later on down the road I would feel more comfortable being a guide myself, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah, definitely. And I know that you had like said that was one of your concerns with the videos, was like you didn't know if you at this point were confident or experienced enough in yourself to be a coach, which I kind of felt that way too, because I'm not a personal trainer or anything. And I think you could probably say that that's like a common objection people have, is like, well, I don't even know enough myself. Like, how can I give other people advice? And what I found, and Carolyn can chime in on this if you agree or don't, but like what I found is that the more kind of on that same journey you are yourself, the more relatable you are to other people. Because, I don't have it all figured out myself. Like I'm still, I think we talked about this a little bit, like I'm still like revamping my nutrition plan, and I'm changing how I'm training all the time. And like, by no means do I have it figured out at all. I don't think most of us do. So we're just kind of all regular people. And I think that makes you, what I found is that makes you more relatable to people, because then they can look at you and they're like, well, you're going through the same thing and you're in the same boat, and we're kind of all motivating each other, rather than like, I don't know, like rather than some super ripped fitness model being like, well, you need to eat exactly this and this is what So I think that's more, what do you think? Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
I really agree with everything that you just said.
Yeah.
Where nobody's perfect. And I mean,
right.
For example, I was in Cancun a few weeks ago, and I came back and I was basically pretending I was still on vacation. There was no rules. I ate what I wanted. I ate like a lot of food. I just kind of threw all the rules out the window, and I was kind of like, I don't really feel like working out today. I'm just not going to work out. So, I mean, it took me 2 weeks to get back into a schedule, and it wasn't until actually this Monday I'm like finally back on track, and it feels great. But I shared that with people. I shared that I was off track, and I shared that like I do make mistakes, and most of the times that I actually share parts of me that you might not see from like my highlight reel, I guess you would call it, like my background story, things that I'm struggling with. Every time I'm transparent, I get more people that can relate to me, and I have people messaging me like, I'm really glad that you shared that with me. Like, I was going through the same thing, and you really helped me get through this and really showed me that I can do this. So the fact that you do feel that way is actually a good thing, because if you felt like going in there like, oh yeah, I know everything, like I could do this, and I'm like super ripped, awesome fitness model, and everyone's just gonna do what I say. Like nobody's going to, because nobody's going to relate to somebody who's fake and flat like that. So the fact that you have a personality and you have character is going to make you that much more relatable to people.
Yeah. And the fact that like you're, like you just said, you're still tweaking with your own program and you're going through all this and learning everything too, which I know, I am as well. Like Carolyn said, I think the more transparent you are, I've found the same thing. Like the more I talk about, well, like I ate crap all weekend and I went to this carnival 2 weekends ago and ate like snow cones and corn dogs for dinner. And like, if I post about that, then I get people on Facebook, and then I get people in real life who are like, oh my God, I'm so glad to hear that. Like, we thought you just ate healthy all the time. And I'm like, no, definitely not. Like, we're all humans. So
and that's how I am in like more perspective of, I guess with like alcohol, just because having the job that I have and like my previous job can be so stressful that you just feel like, oh my God, I need a glass of wine. Like today sucked. I had one of those days today, I'm not even going to lie, where my work was just like.
Me too.
You can totally have a glass of wine, girl.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I drink wine. Yeah.
I'm
going to be honest.
In college, I had like a box wine next to my computer, but I don't do that anymore.
Oh man.
That's dangerous.
But yeah, you could drink wine. That's cool.
You have to do what you have to do. I mean,
yeah.
Nothing wrong with a glass of wine.
No. Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely wouldn't worry about that, because I've talked to so many people who are like, I just don't know enough. And I think it's the exact opposite, like Carolyn was saying. Like, the more relatable and the more real you are, the better, because I know, like, if some ripped fitness model is telling me what to do, that just turns me off, honestly, because I'm like, who are you?
Absolutely. It's kind of intimidating as well. And I guess the other thing that I want to ask was, like, the people that you have that go through this program, are they people that you know personally, or how does really the like clientele, if you want to call it, like come through and be under you and ask you for advice, that sort of thing?
Okay. Carolyn, you want to start?
To me or to Emmy? I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. You can start.
Okay. Well, at first, when you're starting out, it's generally people who you are already friends with on Facebook, maybe people who you were friends with in high school, who you just kind of reach back out to them and connect to them, your best friends, your family, like people who you're really close to are usually the first people to hop on board with you and support you. I mean, it doesn't always happen that way. Some people, it takes a little longer. Like, it took me, I don't know, 7 months to get my parents to drink Shakeology, but they drink it now. So, but yeah, so when you start out, you'll go through like all the people you know, like people from school, people from work, people from, I don't know, maybe there's a restaurant in where you live that you know you talk to people in town, or maybe people who have like similar interests, like different groups you're a part of, different things like that. Those are the people who you'll probably feel most comfortable talking to. So those will be the people that you speak to first. And then as you continue to build your business, you'll be reaching out to people who you don't know. And I know it sounds like kind of intimidating when you think about it, but if I didn't get over the fact that I was nervous to reach out to people, I never would have met Emmy. And
that's true.
we wouldn't be on this call right now. So so you do get people from Instagram. I know that's where the two of you met, which is awesome.
That's where Caroline and I met too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I met her on Instagram too.
Yep.
So you'll find people on there. You'll find people on Facebook who you're not friends with now, but you'll become friends with them. There's so many ways with social media. Like there's endless amounts of people. So you never have to worry
would know existed.
Yeah.
Sure.
You never have to worry about running out of people because there's always going to be somebody who needs help losing weight. Always going to be somebody who needs help building their confidence or just fitting into those pair of jeans that they really want to fit into or just anything. There's always somebody looking to change themselves, and you can always help them in some aspect with that. So you'll never run out of people.
Yeah. And also, I was just going to say, like, with what you're doing with your Instagram page, Joanna, now, like, I know that's how I found you because I was like, wow, this girl's Instagram page is, like, super inspiring and, like, all the stuff that you're already posting. That's a huge component of what we do, and you're really already doing it. Because, I mean, I know that's what caught my eye about your page in the first place. So you'd be surprised, like, how many people will just reach out to you if they haven't already been.
Yeah.
You probably already get some of that. So that's like the bread and butter of how I reach out to people that I don't know is just through my Instagram, and like you're really already doing that. So
yeah, that's true. How would you guys say that your success has been since you started?
Carolyn has a lot to talk about with this.
All right. Well, I started in August. Well, end of July last year. So my first full month was in August, and I was doing, like, I did pretty well right out of the bat because my coach was very supportive of me. And luckily, I also have, well, you would too, if you joined up under Emmy, you would have a really strong leader who would be our Diamond sponsor coach. Her name is Kelly Hanner. So we have a really strong base of coaches and a really strong support system. So I did really well right out the bat. And but now my coach who's above me, she kind of like fell off. So I did struggle like a little bit for like a month or so. Right. But like I said, our Diamond upline is like the bomb. So she helped me. But at first, I'd say, are you like more concerned like earning wise, or like I'm not sure exactly. You mean like success wise? Because like I never thought I'd be where I am today. And
like if I'll be blunt, I mean like I'll say financially wise.
Okay, yeah. No, it's fine. Yeah. So when I got my first paycheck, I was just shocked that I even had that much. I'm on a call. Okay. Sorry. So yeah. It started off basically as something to pay my groceries each week, pay for my books for school, pay for my gas to get to work because I have an hour commute to work and an hour home. And I was able to do all three of those things with my paycheck from Beachbody. And you get paid weekly, which is awesome because it's just, you don't have to wait every 2 weeks. So my weekly paycheck was enough for me to do all those.
Sorry. Does that come from like if you like how exactly does that money like
okay,
I guess come in, like do you need to have people under you?
Yes. Yeah. Well, anytime you sell anything, you get 25% commission from that. And then when you sign up coaches, when they are under you, once you hit Emerald, which is when you have 2 coaches below you, you have the opportunity to make bonuses, cycle bonuses with volume points, depending on the success of your team. And there's so many other different bonuses that I could go into explaining, and it would just take, like, that's a whole nother call. But I can send you a video, or I can send it to Emmy and she can send it to you, that explains like every single bonus, every single possible way to make money as a Beachbody coach. And it's in like detail. So it'll be easier to understand than me trying to explain it. But yeah, I was able to pay for my books, my gas for my car, my groceries, and all of that stuff. And I never expected it to be anything like that because, like I said, I was just a discount coach. I was just doing this because I didn't feel like paying every month for Shakeology. But it really became something more than what I ever thought it would be. I'm not sure how much of my story Emmy has told you, but I went to school for 4 years. I always thought I wanted to be a teacher. Like, I grew up always wanting to be a teacher, and I went to school for 4 years, did really well, graduated in May with my undergrad in education and English, and I've been working in school for the past year, and I'm an instructional assistant right now, but I've been taking grad classes too. And this whole time I was doing Beachbody too, which it's totally manageable if you have like a full-time job and you can do this, because I've been able to do it and so many other people have. I wasn't sure if that was a concern too. But so I'm in this job, and I've really found out that maybe I don't want to be a teacher. Like, this isn't something that I really want to do. And I always thought I wanted to do it, and I'm in there now, and it's just not something that I'm passionate about. It's not something that's fulfilling to me at all. And I kept telling myself, like, no, you always wanted to be a teacher. Like, no, like, stop thinking like that. Yeah. But it's just like, when sometimes you think you know what you want to do and you really don't. So at the end of this year, I'm taking the year off, and I'm going full force with this coaching business. And like, I never would have imagined that. Like, I never would have imagined that. Like, when I got my first paycheck, that was over $700 in 1 week. I literally was amazed. I was like, this is not possible. Like, how does this happen? All I'm doing is helping people. I can't, like, and it just becomes, once you get up there, it really becomes more about the people and your team than it does about the money. Like, the money just keeps coming in, but it's not what you're focusing on. It's just like, this is awesome. I love this community. I love the people I'm working with. Like, I get to hand pick the people that I work with. I get to pick Emmy to work with me, and she's just awesome. And it's totally, the lifestyle of it is just beyond anything that I ever thought. So the opportunities and the flexibility, and I can work when I want, and it's just like, I don't know, I'm so in love with it. And I could keep talking about how much I love it, but I'll just talk your ear off. But it definitely, if you have belief in the business, this is what I found. If you believe in yourself, and you believe in your goals, and you believe in what you want this business and opportunity to do for you, if you have belief in that, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Did you want to add anything too? Because I know we're like two different perspectives now, because you started and I've been.
Right, I just started. Yeah, so I've been in it only, really, this will be my second full month. So I've been learning from Carolyn, and like, she's kind of my goal that I'm working towards being at that point as well. And so I have a 40-hour week 9-to-5 job right now, which is actually ending tomorrow. It's my last day. So I'm going to kind of be transitioning into making this more of a full-time thing as well. So right now, I would say, being only my second full month, it's kind of is helping me pay off my credit card each month and gas right now. And I've definitely got goals to take it further, like I said, once my full-time job ends. I'm going to be putting a little bit more time into it. But like Carolyn said, like, if you are determined enough to do this, and you kind of believe in the business and you believe in yourself, it's really what I've found just from interacting with other coaches and hearing their stories is what you put into it is what you get out. So if you're really determined to make this work, you can make it a full-time thing like Carolyn's going to be doing, like I'm going to be more or less doing. And then, there's still the people that just put a couple hours a week and they make it, that's fine too. So it's really, really, you're your own boss. You put in the time that you want to put into it. But you can really go, there's no limit to how far you can take it if you want it to go that far. And I think, Karen's a good example of that for sure. Yeah. So it's really completely whatever you want to make it and what you want to put into it and just how far you want to go. It's up to you completely, I would say.
And let's say, for instance, like if Emmy, I had you for let's say a coach, like what would that relationship look like, I guess? Like the communication between the both of us and the advice that you would give or whichever, like how would that look like?
So like Carolyn said, our upline diamond sponsor is Kelly, and she's the one who narrated that video that I sent you. So you would be, if you were to join under me, I would be your direct sponsor, and you would be, and like Carolyn's my direct sponsor. So I would imagine our relationship would be pretty much like Carolyn and mine right now. Like, so I would say we talk every day, either text or Facebook message or calling, because I always have constant questions for her and she's always there to answer them. So it's a pretty tight-knit team. Kelly is the one who founded our team. So you would be a part of that team, and everybody's together on a Facebook group. Everybody's constantly all day messaging each other with questions. And if you need advice, you post it on the wall and somebody will answer in like 2 seconds. So it's a really tight-knit team. It's a big team, but it's like a big family. And we kind of have, there's little mini teams kind of underneath that. So you get a chance to get to know somebody. But it's a really, I didn't know any of these people 2 months ago. And now, Carolyn and I talk every day. And it's great. I'm having, you get to work with like the most awesome people and talk to them every day. And everybody's just like more than willing to help you. If you have an idea that you want to do, I'll text Carolyn and be like, what do you think about this like ab group that I want to do? And she's like, do it. And then, it's a really good relationship. And I would imagine we'd be talking, I think the goal is like, you would be knowledgeable enough to go out and do this on your own. Like that would be my goal, is to teach you everything that I know that Carolyn's taught me, so that you could really take this business as far as you want and you wouldn't need my help. But at the same time, like I'd absolutely be there, especially when you're first getting started. And as long as you wanted me to be, to answer anything I can answer, and Carolyn could answer anything that I couldn't, that I'm still learning. So everybody's really in it together. And I think that's like a lot of the coaches' goals is, they want to train their coaches to be as independent and knowledgeable as they possibly can be, so that if like we were to fall off the face of the planet, you would still be able to go on with this. But at the same time, like that's obviously not the goal. Like it's a really tight-knit family. That's probably been my favorite part, because I didn't really expect that. Like I didn't realize that everybody was in it together so much. I kind of thought it was going to be like, well, Carolyn will be here. I know she's awesome, but like, oops, are y'all getting that message?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We'll be good. Yeah. I forget where I was, but yeah, that was not what I expected, but that's kind of been the part of this that I like the best, because I don't really have a group like that. Like at my 9-to-5 job, I sit in a cubicle all day and I don't really talk to anybody, because it's just the nature of it. So it's really nice for me to be able to like chat with people all day and message people, and everybody's there and like really in it together and really positive. And when I have those days when I'm like, I don't know if I can do this, like what am I doing with my life, everybody's like, you got it, believe in yourself. And it's like I definitely would not be able to do this at all if it wasn't for the team. So, and you would just be a part of that. Everybody's really welcoming to new coaches. Everybody would be there to answer any questions you had. I would be there pretty much 24/7 if you needed me. So I don't know if Carolyn has anything to add to that, but that's definitely been my favorite part, is just the team itself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've almost been doing this for a full year, but I still reach out to Kelly. I talk to Kelly probably, if not every day, every other day. Like we still talk to each other. We're still like really close. And I don't know about you, but when I was in high school, I didn't have a lot of friends. Like I wasn't the most popular girl, and I went to college and it was the same thing. Like I had a couple friends like here and there, but I just didn't have really good luck with girls. And I was in a sorority and that was great and that was fun. But before that, it was just like awful. And I really struggled. That really beat my self-confidence down, just because nobody was like, I don't know, just anytime I would have friends, like they would be my friends and then they weren't actually my friends, because you find out like, oh, they're talking about you, or oh, they're this. And I know like my mom would always say, oh, they're just jealous, but it's just, you don't want to be around people like that. So I've learned to filter out the negativity and refilter in the positivity. And just by being a part of this group, I'm surrounded by it. Like you can't get away from positivity when you
really can't.
Yeah. And I never would have, if you talked to me literally last year, I would be like, I don't want to talk to these people. Like, I don't know them. Like how like, no, I don't want anything to do with these people, because my past, like I just didn't have good relationships with people. And I guess it was because I was surrounding myself with the wrong people. I was trying to be with the cool people instead of like the real people. So now that I've found this community of real people, all with similar interests and passions and goals, and they're like really driven to get like to reach their goals, it's really totally changed my whole outlook on everything in life. And I just feel like, okay, this is awesome. And you would totally fit in with our team. I could just tell.
I can tell too.
And a side question, what sorority were you in?
I was in Phi Sigma Sigma.
Okay, what school?
Monmouth University.
What school?
Monmouth.
Okay. I was at AGD at VCU.
Phi Sig?
Alpha Gamma Delta.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly joined the sorority because I had to get out of the house that I lived in, because I literally lived with 4-5 girls who would do nothing but tear me down every day. So that was why I joined a sorority, to be in a group of people who were at least a little more supportive of me, and I had a different group to get away from the, like, hell house, I called it. But I mean, those past experiences are the things you grow from and the things you learn from. And I'm talking and I'm like, this isn't me talking. Like, I would never talk like this a year ago. But it's just all the positivity and personal development that we do as a team, and has really shaped who I am today. And I'm like so happy that I've been happy to be a part of this. So yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, I don't think I had any other questions, but I mean, did you guys have anything else that you feel like you haven't mentioned yet?
I'm trying to think of anything pressing. There's definitely a lot. I mean, if you did decide you wanted to join our team, which I can tell, like Carolyn said, you would definitely fit right in. I can just tell from the talking that we've done. There's a coach training group. So that was, I know Carolyn mentioned that to me when I was considering it, and that kind of eased my nerves about it a little, because there is a 3-week training on Facebook that you can go through when you first start, and that goes over all the nitty-gritty beyond what we've even talked about, of how you do earn, how you reach out to people, how not to come across as a salesman. So I don't know about you, but like, I had this thought in my head, like I was just going to have to wing it and kind of figure all this out on my own, and just like go out and start cold pitching myself to people, which I'm terrible at.
Yeah.
And I hate making sales. I hate businessy stuff. I'm just not that kind of person. So when she told me that there was that training group, I was like, oh, okay, well, that makes me feel better. So I don't know. I just thought I'd mention that to you, because I know that kind of soothed my mind about it a little bit. But that's a really valuable thing when you're first starting. It's just 3 weeks. It's on Facebook. It's like Kelly just posts like 2-minute long videos a day. So it's not, it's not a time consuming thing at all. But that helped me a lot, just to kind of get that foundation under me of like, okay, well, here's how to talk to people without coming across as pushy, and like, here's strategies on social media to use. So just know that there is like there's a huge wealth of resources out there, and training, and everybody else's experiences from over the years, kind of, they just all pooled all their knowledge together for all the new coaches. So if that's, I don't know if that was even a concern, but I know for me, I was like kind of freaking out that I was going to have to figure all this out on my own.
I didn't even know that, so that's good to know.
Yeah, it was for me, I know, so.
Yeah, and you have the weekends off with that group too, so if you need to catch up or anything like that, it just teaches you the vital things you have to do every day to run a successful business, like Emmy said. And once you go through that training, it'll just become second nature to you, and you won't even feel like you're working. You'll just feel like, oh, this is just something I do every day that I love to do. So yeah,
definitely.
Okay.
Did you have any other questions?
No, but I was just about to say, I don't think I had any other questions. You guys did answer them. So
good.
Well, great.
So I'm going to take your statements and everything, and I will think about them. And would it be all right if I spoke to you tomorrow about our discussion for today?
That would sound great to me. I'm free anytime after 2 p.m. tomorrow, so just let me know what works for you. I'd love to talk.
That's fine with me. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll be in touch. I got your number, so we'll set something up.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Sounds good. It was great talking to you and meeting you.
You too, Carolyn. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. It was really fun.
This was really fun. I've never done this kind of conversation.
Neither had I. So
it's different.
I know how.
I look forward to talking to you again soon. And if you do have any questions, like, feel free to reach out to me.
Okay.
I'm Bite, so you know that now.
Yeah, I'll find you by name. So, or if not, I'll ask Emmy, and I'm sure she'll direct you. So.
Yeah, I can do that.
All right.
Okay. Thank you guys so much.
No problem.
Bye. Have a good night.
Bye. You too.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.